by centuries of conflict, is a place once believed to be the center of the world. Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem, a city steeped in history and spirituality, a shocking event has stunned the world. Reports of a divine miracle, an occurrence so unprecedented that it can only be the work of Jesus Christ himself, have caused a frenzy of speculation and awe. From priests to tourists, people from all walks of life have flocked to the sacred streets, eager to witness this once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. But what exactly is this miraculous event? And why has it captivated the hearts and minds of millions? The Church of Jerusalem, also commonly referred to as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, holds immense importance as a sacred site situated within the Christian quarter of the ancient city of Jerusalem. This revered location is deeply cherished by Christians worldwide, as it is believed to be the very place where Jesus Christ was crucified, known as Calvary or Golgotha. Furthermore, the church is said to encompass the exact spot where Jesus was laid to rest and subsequently rose from the dead, signifying the pinnacle of Christian faith and salvation. Since its establishment in the 4th century, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has remained a prominent destination for Christian pilgrims seeking to connect with the rich history and spirituality of their faith. The significance of this holy site is further underscored by its origins, as it was originally a Jewish burial ground before being repurposed as a pagan temple. It was not until Constantine the Great commissioned the construction of the church that it became a symbol of Christian reverence and devotion, and within its walls are proof of signs of miracles performed by Jesus Christ himself. Despite facing destruction and subsequent reconstruction on multiple occasions over the centuries, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre continues to stand as a resilient testament to the enduring faith and dedication of Christians worldwide. Its presence serves as a tangible link to the past, embodying both the historical legacy and spiritual essence of Christianity for generations to come. The church is shared by multiple Christian denominations, such as the Catholic, Armenian Apostolic, Greek Orthodox, Ethiopian Orthodox, Syriac Orthodox, and Coptic Orthodox. These denominations have an agreement called the status quo, which allows each of them to conduct their services and ceremonies there. When visiting the church, visitors have the opportunity to explore different chapels, witness the last 4 stations of the Via Dolorosa, and see the Edicule, which is believed to contain the tomb of Jesus. The church's significant history and its importance in the Christian faith attract pilgrims and tourists from all over the world. What makes this temple stand out? What brings these pilgrims from all over the world to its holy ground? The architecture of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is a captivating blend of different architectural styles and influences from various historical periods, showcasing the intricate and rich history of the site. Some of the key architectural features of this remarkable structure include the original layout, which was constructed under the supervision of Constantine the Great in the 4th century. This layout consisted of 2 main buildings that were connected by a grand atrium. The first of these buildings was a basilica, characterized by a central nave and 2 aisles on either side, creating a sense of grandeur and spaciousness. The basilica's design allowed for a seamless flow of natural light, illuminating the interior and enhancing the spiritual atmosphere of the sacred space. The second building was the domed rotunda, known as the Rotunda of the Anastasis, which encircled the small structure known as the Edicule, built over the tomb of Jesus Christ. The Rotunda of the Anastasis featured a magnificent dome that soared above the central space, symbolizing the heavens and connecting the earthly realm with the divine. This architectural element added a sense of grandeur and majesty to the overall design of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, creating a powerful visual statement that emphasized the significance and importance of the site as a place of worship and pilgrimage. The church, originally constructed in the 4th century, faced a tumultuous history filled with destruction and reconstruction. In the year 1009, the church suffered a devastating blow under the orders of Caliph al-Hakim, resulting in the near-total demolition of the sacred site. However, hope was not lost as Emperor Constantine IX Monomachos and the Crusaders took it upon themselves to rebuild the church, albeit with modifications that strayed from the original design. But it didn't end there. A damaging fire ravaged the temple and required yet another reconstruction effort. This time, A Greek architect was tasked with rebuilding the church in an Ottoman Baroque style, giving the structure a new and unique aesthetic. Today, the current structure of the church boasts two distinct spaces that hold great significance to Christian believers. The tomb chamber, accessible through the Chapel of the Angel, serves as a solemn place of reverence and reflection. Meanwhile, the Edicule, a shrine constructed in the 19th century, aligns closely with the accounts found in the Christian Gospels, further solidifying the church's importance as a place of worship and pilgrimage. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is a grand architectural marvel, boasting a sprawling complex that encompasses a multitude of smaller chapels within its vast expanse, totaling over 5,000 square meters. Nestled within this impressive structure is the revered site of Golgotha, situated in one corner, and a serene, enclosed, colonnaded atrium, adding to the peaceful ambiance of the church. The centerpiece of this architectural masterpiece is the magnificent basilica, a symbol of the church's significance and grandeur. The intricate design and layout of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre not only serve as a visual representation of its sacred importance, but also offer a glimpse into the rich historical and cultural influences that have shaped its construction and restoration throughout the ages. Each architectural element within the church tells a story, weaving together the diverse layers of history and tradition that have converged to create this iconic religious landmark. What is the historical symbol of this temple, and what significant role does it hold for Christians? The crucifixion of Jesus is a pivotal and profound event in Christian theology, serving as a cornerstone of belief and faith for Christians worldwide. As detailed in the New Testament, Jesus faced a series of harrowing events leading up to his crucifixion, including his arrest, trial, and ultimately being sentenced to death by crucifixion. This significant event is said to have taken place in 1st century Judea, with most scholars pinpointing the years AD 30 or AD 33 as the likely time frame for this historic event. Following his condemnation by Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea during that era, Jesus endured brutal scourging before being compelled to carry his cross to Golgotha, where he was ultimately crucified alongside two thieves. This momentous and tragic event serves as a central focus of Christian faith, with believers commemorating and reflecting upon the sacrifice and significance of Jesus' crucifixion. However, the Gospels provide a detailed account of the crucifixion of Jesus, including specific events such as him being offered vinegar mixed with gall to drink, soldiers gambling for his clothing, and the placement of the sign declaring him as the King of the Jews above his head. Additionally, it is documented that Jesus spoke 7 times while on the cross, and that there were supernatural occurrences following his death, such as darkness covering the land and the temple veil being torn in two. These events are considered to be the fulfillment of prophecies from the Old Testament and are fundamental to Christian beliefs regarding salvation and atonement. The crucifixion is commemorated on Good Friday, while the resurrection of Jesus is joyously celebrated on Easter Sunday, symbolizing the triumph of life over death and the promise of eternal life for believers. An amazing structure stands near the Church of Jerusalem that has captivated the attention of worshippers and skeptics alike. It's the Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock is an Islamic shrine located at the heart of the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound on the Temple Mount in the historic Old City of Jerusalem, stands as a testament to the rich architectural heritage of the Islamic world. Dating back to the Umayyad Caliphate and constructed under the orders of Abd al-Malik during the turbulent Second Fitna in 691-692 CE, this iconic structure is recognized as the oldest surviving work of Islamic architecture in the world. Situated near the site of the Second Jewish Temple, which was razed by the Romans in 70 CE, the Dome of the Rock holds immense historical and religious significance for multiple faiths. The foundation stone, also known as the Noble Rock, located beneath the dome, is a revered site in Abrahamic religions. According to belief, this sacred spot is where God created the world and the first human, Adam, and where Abraham made his attempt to sacrifice his son. However, for Muslims, the Dome of the Rock is closely linked to the night journey of Muhammad, with the rock at the center of the structure believed to be the starting point of this miraculous event. This convergence of spiritual and historical narratives makes the Dome of the Rock a focal point of pilgrimage and reverence for millions around the world. The structure's design and ornamentation draw heavily from the Byzantine architectural tradition, showcasing intricate details and decorative elements that reflect an early stage in the development of a distinct Islamic visual style. The dome, which sits atop an octagonal base, is a striking feature with a diameter of approximately 65 feet. Surrounding the dome are octagonal exterior walls, each side measuring about 60 feet wide and 36 feet high. Both the interior and exterior of the structure are lavishly adorned with luxurious materials, such as marble, mosaics, and metal plaques. The mosaics in particular are a standout feature, showcasing intricate designs that exclude representations of human or animal forms. Instead, they predominantly feature Arabic script, along with intricate vegetal patterns intermixed with images of items like jewels and crowns. One significant belief held by Muslims is that the rock above which the dome is constructed marks the spot from which Prophet Muhammad ascended into heaven for an encounter with God. This adds a layer of spiritual significance to the architectural marvel, making it not just a visually stunning structure, but also a place of deep religious significance, and it has captivated both Christians and Muslims alike. Now, let's take a journey into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and explore the miracle that happened in it, that proves the divine Jesus. The Parvis, which is the courtyard facing the church entrance, is well known. It is connected to St. Helena Road on the west and Souk al-Dabaga on the east. Surrounding the Parvis, there are several smaller structures. On the west side of the Parvis, there is a group of 3 chapels that originally served as the baptistry complex of the Constantinian Church. Adjacent to the rotunda and the left of the entrance, you will find the 12th century Crusader bell tower. Unfortunately, its upper level was lost in a collapse in 1545, and in 1719, 2 more stories were lost. The main entrance is composed of wooden doors that are intricately carved and arched. Currently, only the left-hand entrance is accessible, as the right doorway has been bricked up for a long time. Through the Crusader facade in the Parvis of a larger courtyard, the entrance to the church leads to the south transept. To reach this, you must pass through a group of streets that wind through the outer Via Dolorosa and a souk in the Muristan. The Muslim Nusaybe family has been serving as a neutral party, facilitating the opening of the door to various church denominations since the 7th century, as per their family history. Just beyond the entrance of the church lies a staircase that ascends to Calvary or Golgotha, a spot traditionally believed to be where Jesus was crucified and the most ornate section of the church. The exit, on the other hand, is through a different staircase opposite the first one, leading down to the ambulatory. Golgotha and its chapels are situated just south of the main altar of the Catholicon. Then you approach the Calvary. The Calvary is divided into 2 chapels, one Greek Orthodox and one Catholic, each with its altar. The Greek Orthodox chapel's altar, located on the left north side, is positioned above the supposed rock of Calvary, the 12th station of the cross, which can be reached through a hole in the floor beneath the altar. The rock is visible under protective glass on both sides of the altar, with the softer surrounding stone having been removed during the church's construction. Beneath the Golgotha chapel, on the ground level, is the Chapel of Adam. Legend has it that Jesus was crucified directly above the spot where Adam's skull was buried. Some believe that the blood of Christ flowed down the cross and through the rocks to fill Adam's skull. Through a window at the rear of the 11th century apse, the rock of Calvary can be observed, displaying a crack traditionally attributed to the earthquake that occurred after Jesus' death, although some scholars argue that it resulted from quarrying against a natural flaw in the rock. That's not all. Then you come across the Stone of Anointing, also known as the Stone of the Anointing or Stone of Unction, which is located just inside the entrance of the church. According to tradition, this is where Joseph of Arimathea prepared Jesus' body for burial. However, this tradition only dates back to the time of the Crusaders and was notably mentioned by the Italian Dominican pilgrim Ricoldo da Monte di Croce in 1288. The current stone was added during the reconstruction of the church in 1810. The wall behind the stone is characterized by its striking blue balconies and red banners adorned with symbols representing the Brotherhood of the Holy Sepulchre. It is also adorned with lamps. A modern mosaic on the wall depicts the anointing of Jesus' body, with the descent from the cross on the right and the burial of Jesus on the left. Originally, the wall was added temporarily to support the weakened arch above it, which had been damaged in a fire in 1808. It now obstructs the view of the rotunda, separates the entrance from the Catholicon, and sits on top of 4 empty and desecrated Crusader graves. It is no longer structurally necessary. There are differing opinions on whether it should be considered the 13th station of the cross, while others identify it as the moment when Jesus was lowered from the cross, located between the 11th and 12th stations on Calvary. The larger dome building, known as the Rotunda, is situated on the far west side. Within the Rotunda, there is a small chapel called the Edicule, which derives its name from the Latin word edicula, meaning a small shrine. The Edicule consists of 2 rooms. The first room houses a relic called the Angel's Stone, believed to be a fragment of the large stone that sealed the tomb. The second, smaller room contains the tomb of Jesus. To prevent pilgrims from taking pieces of the original rock as souvenirs, a layer of marble cladding was added to the tomb in 1555 to protect it from further damage. In October 2016, the top slab of the tomb was pulled back, revealing an older, partially broken marble slab with a Crusader-style cross carved into it. Beneath this slab, the limestone burial bed remained intact. It doesn't end there. Adjacent to the larger rotunda, in the central nave of the Crusader-era church, is a Crusader structure that houses the main altar of the church. This structure, now known as the Greek Orthodox Catholicon, has a dome with a diameter of 19.8 meters 65 feet. The dome is positioned directly above the center of the transept crossing of the choir, where the company is located. The company is associated with the site of the crucifixion and the resurrection, and is considered an omphalos, or navel, stone, symbolizing the center of the world. Orthodox Christians continue to venerate this stone. Since 1996, the monumental Golgotha crucifix has adorned the top of this dome. It was consecrated by the Greek Patriarch Diodorus I of Jerusalem. The idea to erect a new crucifix at the church came from Israeli professor Gustav Kunel, who aimed to create a symbol of unity within the Christian faith community that would be worthy of the uniqueness of the site. South of the Edicule lies the Place of the Three Marys, which is distinguished by a stone canopy, known as the Station of the Holy Women, and a large contemporary wall mosaic. The Armenian monastery can be accessed from this point, extending across the ground and the first upper floor of the church's southeastern section. On the opposite side of the chapel, there is a small entrance to an almost intact 1st-century Jewish tomb, which originally contained 6 coke-type burial shafts radiating from a central chamber, with 2 of them still visible. Despite the lack of identifying marks in this area, some speculate that Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus were interred here. The presence of this tomb, where Jews traditionally buried their deceased outside the city, suggests that the Holy Sepulchre site was located beyond the city walls during the time of the crucifixion. In the northeast part of the complex, there is the Prison of Christ, believed to be the place where Jesus was imprisoned. The Greek Orthodox point out to pilgrims another location where Jesus was supposedly held, the Prison of Christ within their monastery of the Praetorium, situated near the church of Ecce Homo, between the 2nd and 3rd stations of the Via Dolorosa. The Armenians consider a recess in the Monastery of the Flagellation, at the 2nd station of the Via Dolorosa, as the Prison of Christ. Additionally, a cistern among the ruins beneath the Church of St. Peter in Gallican II on Mount Zion is also claimed to have been the Prison of Christ. In an attempt to harmonize these various traditions, some suggest that Jesus was detained in the Mount Zion cell during his trial by the Jewish high priest, at the Praetorium during his trial by the Roman governor Pilate, and near Golgotha before his crucifixion. It's the celebration of the completion of the Edicule of the Holy Sepulchre. The Edicule of the Holy Sepulchre was officially opened on March 22, 2017, following a year-long restoration effort. The inauguration took place during an ecumenical ceremony attended by representatives from the Orthodox, Armenian, and Roman Catholic churches. The ceremony was led by Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, with Patriarch Theophilus III of Jerusalem, Armenian Apostolic Patriarch Nurhan Manouchian, and other Christian religious leaders in attendance. Also present were diplomats and political figures, such as Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, as well as representatives from the Kingdom of Jordan, the State of Israel, and the Palestinian Authority. According to the current status quo, only the Orthodox, Armenian, and Roman Catholic churches are permitted to conduct services within the Holy Sepulchre Basilica. The restoration of the Tomb of Christ began less than a year ago in May 2016 to safeguard the tomb in the event of a significant earthquake, similar to the one that occurred in 1927 and weakened the Edicule. The most recent consolidation work on the anastasis was carried out by the British in 1947, but was left incomplete due to a lack of agreement among the three Christian communities, Orthodox, Armenians, and Franciscans, who share custody of the basilica. For the first time since the status quo was established in 1857, an agreement was finally reached between the three Christian communities, paving the way for the restoration work to begin last year. This complex project, which posed both technical and ecumenical challenges, was ultimately completed successfully. The inauguration symbolized unity, uniting various communities, authorities, and representatives of the churches of the Holy Land, along with numerous religious individuals, believers, and supporters. During his speech, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew expressed his gratitude to the esteemed scholars of the National Polytechnic of Metsovo, led by the distinguished Professor Antonia Miraculous, for their efforts. He emphasized that, in our modern, constantly troubled and divided world, the Holy Sepulchre in front of us represents the only source of authentic, substantial, and sacred unity among Christians that is not based on human interests and ambitions, but solely on the cross that has the power to bring together what was once divided. This is where it gets interesting. According to Patriarch Theophilos III of Jerusalem, the restoration of the Edicule holds an ecumenical significance for the entire human family, as this holy site unites all nations, ethnicities, and cultures, serving as a powerful testament to a shared destiny and humanity. This project showcases unity that can serve as an inspiration for all the people in our region, particularly during these challenging and uncertain times. Theophilos also expressed his gratitude to King Abdullah II of Jordan and President Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority for their generous contributions. Armenian Apostolic Patriarch Nurhan Manugian emphasized the importance of Jesus' teachings on love and unity among his disciples. He highlighted that despite the cultural and linguistic differences, Christians share the same gospel and commandment of love. The Patriarch also proposed the idea of allowing other churches to officiate in the Edicule once a year after Easter, believing that it would be pleasing to Jesus. In his address, the Custos of the Holy Land, Father Francis Patton, expressed his hope for peace and joy as the work on the restoration is completed in time for Easter. He saw this restoration as a significant step towards unity among all Christian denominations, enabling them to work together as brothers. Former Custos Fur Pier Battista Pizzaballa, who now serves as the apostolic administrator, described the restoration of the Edicule as not only a technical achievement, but also a symbol of renewed relations and healing for the churches of Jerusalem. He believed that the Holy Sepulchre, where Christians commemorate the resurrection of Jesus, reflects the unity and desire to overcome the divisions of the past. Something remarkable happened that sent shockwaves across Christian communities, a miracle so astonishing that can only be done by Jesus Christ himself. On April 7th, an astonishing event was reported, claiming to be a miracle that occurred about a week prior on March 29th at the renowned Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The news spread like wildfire across various social media platforms, with numerous posts appearing on Facebook, blogs, and YouTube the very next day. It was reported that the crucifix icon above the altar at Golgotha, the sacred site of the Lord's crucifixion, had undergone a miraculous transformation. The eyes of the icon, which had always been closed, were said to have opened and remained open for an entire day. This extraordinary occurrence was witnessed by many, including priests and visitors, such as Father Theodore Daud's friend, Archimandrite Malateus Bazal, whose acquaintance captured photos of the event. Father Theodore Daud shared in detail how his friend described the miraculous event, emphasizing that the eyes of the crucified Christ on the icon, which had never been opened before, remained open throughout the entire day. The miraculous event stirred up awe and wonder among those who witnessed it, sparking conversations and discussions about faith and divine intervention. Apart from this event, other signs keep people puzzled. One is the immovable ladder of the Holy Sepulchre. The immovable ladder of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is a small wooden ladder located under a window on the facade of the church. It has become a symbol of the status quo, an understanding among religious communities regarding the shared use of the church. The ladder has remained in the same location for centuries, and is a testament to the delicate balance of power between the Christian denominations that share custody of the Church. The status quo was formalized in international law in the Treaty of Berlin in 1878, which preserved the division of ownership and responsibilities of various Christian holy places. The latter itself is said to have been in place by at least 1728, and has remained there since the 1757 status quo was established, with only a few alleged temporary moves. The presence of the latter is a reminder of the complex history of religious disputes within the Christian world. It symbolizes the intricate and often contentious relationship between the Greek Orthodox, Armenian Apostolic, Roman Catholic, Coptic, Ethiopian, and Syriac Orthodox churches, which all have a presence in the Church. The latter's continued existence is a kind of miracle, possible only through human folly, representing the divisions and the lengths to which these communities go to maintain their respective rights and privileges within the Church. Another one is the mystical properties associated with its columns. One particular column, steeped in legend, is believed to have miraculous powers. If one can reach around it and touch their hands together behind it, their wishes will be granted. This belief adds to the already mystical atmosphere of the Church, enhancing the deep sense of spirituality that many pilgrims experience when visiting. In addition to their mystical associations, the columns of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre also hold historical significance. During a restoration project in 1969, hidden architectural elements were uncovered inside a wall on the northern side of the church. Among these discoveries were ancient marble columns, a testament to the rich history of the church. These columns were found in an area under the administration of the Franciscan custody of the Holy Land, further adding to their historical importance and the layers of meaning embedded within the church's walls. However, these mysterious happenings didn't end in Jerusalem. Back in 2016, there was quite a buzz surrounding a video that claimed to show a Jesus statue opening and closing its eyes. This viral footage was filmed inside the Chapel of Saltillo in Coahuila de Zaragoza, Mexico, and it certainly caught people's attention. However, upon closer examination, it was discovered that the video was not as it seemed. Fact-checkers at Snopes.com uncovered evidence of digital editing and tampering. They pointed out that certain elements in the video changed simultaneously with the statue's eyes, indicating that it had been manipulated. As a result, the conclusion was reached that the video was nothing more than a cleverly crafted hoax. It serves as a stark reminder of how easily technology can deceive us and emphasizes the importance of verifying extraordinary claims before jumping to conclusions. The Church of Jerusalem, or the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, is still a wonder in the world, and its deep history still leaves people in awe. If you like this video, please leave us a comment below and give it a like. Click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell.